Welcome to VocaTales, where stories help you learn English through emotions, imagination, and connection. Today's story is about memory, distance, and the letters that time cannot erase. Find a quiet place, take a deep breath, and let's begin. Letters from yesterday. There's something about old letters that feels different from messages on a phone. You can touch them. You can smell the paper. You can imagine the person who wrote them, how their hands moved, how their heart felt in that moment. Our story begins with Evan, a young man who recently moved into a small apartment near the train station. He worked at a local post office, a quiet job that suited his calm nature. Every morning he sorted letters and packages, greeting the same people who passed by his window. One afternoon, while cleaning a forgotten drawer behind the counter, he found a small stack of envelopes tied with a faded blue ribbon. They were old, maybe 20 years old. The name on the top letter read, "To Anna, never open until you're ready." Evan paused. He didn't know anyone named Anna in town. Curious but respectful, he put the letters aside and asked the postmaster about them. The old man smiled sadly. "Ah, those belong to a woman who used to live here a long time ago. She wrote letters to someone who never came back." That night, the wind was cold, and Evan couldn't sleep. He sat by his window, holding the stack of letters. Finally, he whispered, "I'll just read one, just to know what kind of story this is." He carefully opened the first envelope. The handwriting was gentle, curved and neat. "Dear Michael, it's been 3 weeks since you left. The town feels emptier without you. I still walk by the river every morning, just in case I see your reflection in the water. I promised I'd wait, but some days, waiting feels like breathing underwater." Evan read on, letter after letter. Each one told a piece of a love story that never got its ending. Two people who met during a summer festival, who shared dreams, who were separated by distance and duty. Michael had left for another country. Anna stayed. They wrote for months, maybe years, but then, suddenly, the letters stopped. One envelope remained unopened, the one marked, "Never open until you're ready." Evan hesitated. He felt like he was holding someone else's soul. The next morning, he asked the townspeople about Anna. Some said she had moved away. Others said she passed years ago. No one was sure, so he decided to find out. He took a day off work and traveled to the next town, where the postmaster mentioned Anna might have lived. After hours of searching, he found an old wooden house by a quiet hill. An elderly woman sat on the porch feeding birds. Evan approached slowly. "Excuse me, are you Anna?" The woman looked up, her eyes calm but filled with memories. "I used to be," she said with a soft smile. Evan held up the letters. "I found these. They were never delivered." Her hands trembled slightly as she took them. For a moment she said nothing. Then she whispered, "You found them after all this time." Evan watched as she opened the final envelope, the one she'd written to herself all those years ago. "Dear Anna, if you're reading this, It means you're still here. Maybe the world didn't turn out how you hoped, but you're still breathing, still kind. Don't wait for letters that never come. Be your own message of love. A single tear rolled down her cheek, not from sadness but peace. She thanked Evan, and together they sat watching the sun set behind the hills. Before leaving, Evan asked, "Do you ever regret waiting?" She smiled. "No. Waiting taught me how to love without needing to be loved back." As he walked back to the station that evening, Evan felt something new, a quiet respect for the weight of time and the beauty of things unfinished. That night he wrote a letter himself, to no one, and to everyone. "Dear whoever finds this, I hope you never stop writing to the world, even if it never writes back." He placed it in an empty envelope, sealed it, and left it in the drawer where he found Anna's letters. Maybe one day someone else would find it, and remember that love, in any form, never disappears. Thank you for listening to VocaTales. If this story touched your heart, remember, every word you hear helps you grow, and every story you feel helps you learn. Subscribe for more stories that speak to your soul and your English.